So Saggy, from Le Vampire, you pulled Hunter, Aggressor, Tracker, and Provider. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Wisdom. Now, Hunter from Le Vampire, the blessing here says that now is the time for you to start actively seeking what you want and to see how far your strength can take you. Working with this card says it's time to establish how to obtain what it is that you want. But it's important to be honest about it and honest with yourself about what it is that you're going after. And also to have the courage to do so. Now, Wisdom from Chakra Wisdom. The very first quote for this card says that wisdom is knowing the difference between a calculated risk and stupidity. And I don't think that that is an issue with you. I think you understand that. But the inspiration here is saying that some of you may be seeking some wise counsel and ignoring it. The other thing too is there's the question of, are you trying to do things alone? A solution may come from those more experienced than yourself. Stay in the present moment and do not let your thoughts jump ahead. And the personal question says, do I go with my heart or against it? The key ideas are about wise counsel, focused energy, and honoring yourself. I think that looking at the two of them, you're definitely hunting something down right now. But I think that you're open to outside wisdom. I think that you're seeking this counsel. I don't necessarily feel like you're trying to ignore it. I think you are taking it in. But when you look at wisdom and Sagittarius, I mean, the two go hand in hand. I just think right now you're open to the ideas of others when it comes to the things that you're hunting down. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to take the advice, which could harm or help you, depending. All right, Saggy, here we go. Here is the energy coming through. Yep. Yes, we know. We are doing a reading for Sag. Temperance. This is your card, and that's beautiful. Needing to have balance between the way that you're thinking and the way that you're feeling, and need for some patience. But the important thing is that there is balance here and there is guidance. And I think that, no matter what you are facing this week, when it comes to hunting down stuff, I think you do have that inherent wisdom working in your favor right now. And in the past, the Chariot. So the Chariot is the past, two opposing forces, right? And getting them under control. I think that in the past, you've gotten control over what is going on with you internally. And that is why Temperance is now showing up. But, the Chariot too, for some of you, there's this feeling of victory, momentum forward, moving forward in your life. But I think that it being the past coming through, you have control over what is going on with you. Nice, very nice. So present conditions, the Ten of Cups, happiness, and domestic bliss. I do think that for a lot of you, you're feeling really good right now emotionally. And you have control. You have control over your emotions as well. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, now. Future conditions. Normally, I look at the King of Wands as Saggy. The Queen of Wands, though, fantastic energy. Beautiful. Especially with her being connected with Temperance, and I've seen this before. I like it because there is a feeling here of being confident in yourself, being confident in the things that you're doing, being able to manage what is going on in your life, absolutely. And for some of you, it could be a person. But there's happiness involved here, whether you're happy with you and what is happening with your life, but there's happiness also involving the people in your life as well, looking at the Ten of Cups. Oh, the best path to follow, the Hangman. I kind of get the feeling here that, for some of you, looking at, that there's a feeling here of maintaining this happiness, right? And needing to have some patience and some moderation, right? And not being too overindulgent. But, when it comes to beautiful emotional experiences, I think you're doing fine. I just think that the Hangman is saying that there's something that needs to be sacrificed here for you to, receive that enlightenment or to, continue to hang on to that wisdom. I think there's a need here for you to be smart about your emotions. The Hangman, though, you know, the big thing when you're talking about self-sacrifice, it's about putting the ego aside so that you can see all perspectives of a situation. And I have to say that sometimes it can be hard for Sag to do. And that's only out of the experiences that I've ever had with Sagittarius. I think that Spirit is trying to tell you that there's more to see. There's more to see and that there's more to know. In your environment, yep, there you are. So you do have another person, and they are attached to the happiness that you have. And I think a lot of you are like really, I think that you're really into, you know, the happiness that is surrounding you and another person. I mean, when you're looking at the Ten of Cups and the same suit court cards, yes, it's like two people that are meant to be. But for some reason, there's a need for you to open your perspective to that, maybe for some of you. And again, it could be another fire sign coming through. But this is like the perfect match, right? And as far as this being in your environment, when it comes to you, Sag, again, there is a need here to be careful about getting bored with things and maybe wanting to move a little bit too quickly into new things. Because again, Temperance is saying patience, right? Having patience. But I'm feeling like some of you are not like, I'm not feeling anything bad. I think emotionally you're on the right track right now. And I think in the present moment, you're focused on that happiness. But I think some of you need to open up your perspective to, you know, maybe possibly the happiness of others or how another person is involved with your own happiness. Oh, yeah. So your hopes and your fears. I think looking at the Five of Pentacles there, you know, I'm not seeing anything that's suggesting that some of you are going to be dealing with any financial difficulties, because that's certainly not something that you would be hoping for. I mean, I can understand fearing that, but I'm not seeing a lot of pentacles happening here. I think this has to do with your emotions and your happiness and the person that is tied to this happiness. Looking at the Five of Pentacles, I think some of you, you know, it goes both ways. You're either pushing somebody out or somebody is like maybe not being fully open to you just yet. There's kind of this feeling here of somebody feeling rejected. And I think that, you know, some of you are fearing that and you're hoping that you're not giving that off to another person, because I'm not seeing anything bad going on here. I just think that for some reason your perspective needs to open up, involving another person. You know, and this definitely could have to do with romantic relationships. But like I've always said, when court cards show up, you know, depending on what I'm seeing, I'm either going to say it has to do with a relationship that is romantic in nature, or that it could be any relationship. And this definitely can be the case, right? But I'm seeing a perfect match. There needs to be a little bit of patience and not so much, you know, fast movement forward. Because, you know, when I look at the Ten of Cups, I think of something that you want to be long lasting. I don't think that this is something you want to just in and out with. But I think for some of you, you know, there needs to be patience when it comes to yourself and the other person. In terms of, you know, maybe not really truly being clear about the way that you feel. I kind of get that sense too. You know, I think you're feeling good, but I think that's something that you need to share with the other person, because I'm looking at this, right? But then there's this over here that is suggesting that somebody's not feeling it. Oh, wow. Wow, Sag, really? Man, death. Death is the outcome. I think a lot of you may have had situations in relationships where you're just so used to fast movement with the Chariot, right? Like, you have control. Let's go on with this, right? Because there's happiness here. But I think that there needs to be like some patience here involving another person. And I think that for some of you, you need to be careful about, you know, being too quick when it comes to hunting the things that you want, right? Because the King of Wands, very passionate, very driven, always seeking new adventures, right? Charting his own course, charting their own course, right? And definitely, you know, hunting something down here, but for some reason, somebody's not feeling it. And it's like, I think that for some of you, you need to open up your perspective to see that, because I'm seeing a perfect match. Death is saying that as the outcome, that the old way of doing things is done with now. Things need to change, but they need to change with you internally. And I think that your view is definitely going to start to change when it comes to happiness, and who is involved with that happiness and that emotional fulfillment. But with your energy coming through, you know, it's perfect. It's like perfect match for some of you, right? You know, and for some of you, this could just be, you know, soulmate situations. You know, and those do not have to be romantic in nature at all. I mean, you know, I look at my kids as my soulmate and my husband. You know what I mean? But this person is tied in with your happiness. I just think that you need to open up, because somebody isn't feeling it. And things need to change. All right, Saggy, we're going to take a look at the soul trees to see what other messages there are for you guys. I'm not seeing anything bad. I just think that some of you need to be open to sharing some happiness, or, you know, seeing that another person is a part of this as well. Inner voice. Allow. Oh, and solar plexus. Wow. Okay, your inner voice. When you're looking at that, what is your inner voice telling you? Is it telling you that things need to change? That you need to start seeing things from the other person's perspective as well? Allow is saying that you need to allow things to unfold, allow things to happen the way they need to. And I think the Chariot as the past coming through is saying that you may be a little bit too excited to move forward in a situation. But, you know, I think that Temperance again is saying patience, you know, patience, allowing things to happen. Your solar plexus, the third chakra, this is only ever blocked by shame, but I don't think that there's anything happening here with you feeling shameful. When you're looking at this all as internal, I think that your solar plexus, your ego, your sense of self and your identity is very healthy right now. You have a very healthy ego, which is fantastic. But, you know, the other thing too is that when you look at death, I do think that for some of you, there may be changes with your ego happening. And there's a need to listen to the inner voice and allow things to happen. Because I'm telling you, you know, somebody here is feeling, they're not feeling it. You know, and I think you're the one that needs to be the one to see that, right? And I don't think that there needs to be any immediate action, because the Hangman is suggesting that, you know, there's nothing that really needs to be done, and an allow is like backing that up. All right, Saggy, we're going to take a look at whispers of love when it comes to love for Sagittarius instead of the romance angels this week. So, one this time, true love. I'm telling you, this love is a once-in-a-lifetime love. I do think that some of you, you know, who are in a relationship, you're with your perfect match. That's what it feels like. I just think that, you know, the do something for somebody else is going to go both ways when it comes to those of you who are single and in a relationship. For those of you who are single, when you get back to the things that you love and you really start to go after the things that you want, it opens the door to new experiences, new people, right? But giving your attention to somebody else rather than being so focused on your ego may help. Not that it's a bad thing, right? I think it's important for Saggy to have a healthy ego. Absolutely. Overall, I think that a lot of you are looking at beautiful emotional fulfillment. You're looking at happiness, and I think a lot of you are with the perfect match. But I think somebody may not be feeling it right now, and it may be up to Sag to show a little bit of attention to the person that's in their life. All right, Sag, so I think that a lot of you are like quickly hunting something down. Absolutely. And when I look at that with wisdom, you know, I think that maybe there may be some advice that's coming through that is telling you, hey, you know, don't forget about other people, right? I don't think that it's bad advice coming through with wisdom, but I do think that some of you need to slow down, because the Chariot is saying that, you know, you're moving through things quickly. You have control and you have balance when it comes to the things that are happening with you internally, but I do think that Temperance is saying that there needs to be a slowdown and some patience, because for some reason somebody's not feeling it. They are not feeling the happiness that is within the present moment. And I'm looking at a perfect match here for some of you. And then for some of you, this could definitely be the energy that's surrounding you. Maybe you need to open up your perspective a little bit more here and see that things need to change. But I get the sense that for a lot of you, this has to do with another person. And again, it could be family, it could be people you're working with. But in terms of a relationship, this person is connected with the happiness that is going on with you, but somebody isn't feeling it. And I think that the Hangman is saying that there is a need here for you to open up your perspective. Not only in regards to, you know, the other person's emotions and what they may be feeling, but then to the fact that there may be, you know, things that need to change. Absolutely. With the death being the outcome, something needs to change. There's going to be a new you happening for sure. But the old way of doing things has to be done. And I do think that your inner voice is telling you that, and that you need to allow things to unfold instead of trying to quickly move through energy. And then looking at the solar plexus, you know, and the King of Wands, yeah, yes. A healthy ego. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't think that you're feeling a block. I just think that, you know, if you're too focused on, you know, your own identity, other people may be feeling rejected, you know. And I don't think that it's anything intentional on your part. I just think you have a healthy ego. Saggy, of course. Why wouldn't you, right? I don't think that this reading is bad at all. I just think that things need to change, especially within relationships. Because again, looking at true love for the couples, some of you are with your perfect match. I really do feel like that. Now, for those of you who are single, back to what you love. I always tell people who are single and they're like, I don't know how I meet people. Well, what do you like to do? You know, what is it that you enjoy doing? Start following those passions and it will open the door to new opportunities and new people will make themselves available. But you need to focus on your own happiness. And I think that's what a lot of you are doing here. Between the Chariot, the King of Wands, the Ten of Cups, hunting something down, right? You're focused on your happiness. But for those of you who are single and wanting a relationship, start following that bliss because it will open the door. Now, when it comes to doing something for somebody else, I do think that it goes both ways, whether you are in a relationship or you're single. And I think it's important for Saggy in relationships to be the one here to show the other person that, you know, you do have feelings for them. You understand that they're tied in with your own happiness, that they are important to you. Because I'm telling you, it's like, to me, this is, when I see this in a reading, it's so rare. It's soulmate. This is soulmate, right? And again, it doesn't have to be romantic, but it could definitely be. Overall, I just think that Sag, while you're hunting things down for, you know, your own happiness, you need to make sure that you include the people that have importance to you so that they're not left with a feeling of like not being included or not feeling it. And I think that your perspective is going to open up to that and things will change. But looking at what you pulled, I think you're fine. I think you're listening to that inner voice and that inner wisdom. But be careful about that healthy ego, though, too.